live, and look who this is. It's our friend Dave again. We're can we get a 5x5 people to make sure that you can see and hear both of us?
How's my audio coming through? Okay.
It's coming through crystal clear here, mate. Let's see what the people all over the world are gonna say. It's usually a bit of a lag, Dave. So once we got that confirmed, mate, we're all good to go. 5x5, anybody? Yes, Jay. Jay is always first. He's a mate of mine in America, so that's cool. Brilliant. So they can see and hear us. So people, silver's gone a bit nuts lately, and it looks like $50 an ounce could be the new baseline. So what we're going to do is we're going to allow Dave. I think he's an expert. He probably doesn't want to believe it, but in my eyes, he is. So, Dave, how long have you been into the wonderful world of silver, mate?
You know, for me, it's been a decade or more, 12 years, something like that. And it was Chris Dwayne who really got me into it. You know him? If you don't know him, look him up. He goes by Silver Shield.
Yeah.
And he's woke so many people up to what's going on in the world. He's brilliant. And he got a lot of us stacking silver. And he's been predicting this for so long now. And now I'm so pleased it's happening. Exactly what he said. It's later than we thought, but it is starting now.
Yeah. What sort of year do you remember getting into all this? Can you remember?
Yeah, you know.
It's been a while now, isn't it?
Yeah. 2015, maybe. Yeah, maybe put 2014. So Chris Dwayne makes his own coins. And I got some, 2014, but I bought them after he minted them. He makes his own silver rounds with these unique designs on them.
Oh, cool.
And they're very controversial, you know, and it's the controversial ones I like.
Well, of course.
Yeah, I mean, but they're banned. Everyone says, is he allowed to do that? And no, the answer is he's not, but he still does it. He still puts them out there. They're brilliant. But the point I want to make is you want to just stack any silver you can get. As long as it's pure 999 fine silver, you know. I don't think go for the 92 fine stuff, Funky. Don't go for the, you know, necklaces, spoons, things like that. You want bullion. You want bullion.
Yeah.
You want.
Yeah. So what Dave's referring to, I'm just going to go on to this. Tubes. 25 coins in there. And I'm not sure how this is going to focus, but we're looking at bullion coins.
So those maple leaf, they're actually 4.9 silver, aren't they?
Yeah, they're are supposed to be like medical grade and all the rest of it.
Yes,
but yeah, they're pretty much as pure as you can actually get.
There's not a lot of difference between 3.9 silver and 4.9 silver. They're both as pure as you're going to get.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what you want.
So one of the questions I've been getting quite a lot recently as well, within the last week or so, since I've been putting some posts up about all of this, and no doubt you have as well on your channel. Incidentally, people, if you want the link to David's YouTube channel, it's below this video, so you can click on that and it will take you straight to his channel. And Dave's been putting up loads of YouTube videos and shorts and all the rest of it within the last year or so. It's been absolutely mental, mate. He's been putting a lot of info trying to encourage people to get physical silver, because there is a thing called ETF and electronic trade transfer, I think it is. You don't want to be getting that, because basically you give this company, SLV is a big one, you give them your money and you say, I want 100 ounces of silver, and they will give you an email saying, yeah, we've got it. Get physical, right, mate? Get physical.
You know, what you touched on there is amazing, because that's been going on all around the world to the tune of billions of ounces. There's loads of institutions, you know, JP Morgan's the obvious one, BlackRock, Citibank. There was one called Morgan Stanley. They were doing this. People were investing in silver, and they just got this big receipt book, and they're just giving out receipts. And I want to buy this many ounces of silver. And they didn't have any silver. They had no silver. And they got caught for it. And their excuse was standard industry practice. Everybody's doing it. And that's going to come to a head at some point, isn't it?
It is, because I shudder to think how much receipts, for want of a better term, that SLV actually have on their books. I mean, how much weight silver do they owe people? And when people start calling it in, it's going to, oh my God. And that's just one variable, isn't it?
It's JP Morgan and BlackRock. They're the custodian of the SLV ETF. Now, they're short billions of ounces of silver. They have got to go into the market and buy those billions of ounces. And they sold them at like half the price to what it is now. It's twice the price of what they sold. They've got to go and buy that silver. And, you know, the Perth Mint has got a really big problem. Same problem. For decades in Australia, they've been selling these paper receipts of silver. I think someone said it's about a couple of billion ounces now that they've sold. All these investors think they've bought silver. The Perth Mint haven't got it. They've got to go into the open market now and buy this much silver. All these pooled accounts and unallocated accounts. And the lesson is, don't accept any paper or digital promise of silver. You've got to get real silver in your hand. But still people make the mistake, don't they? When they come to, I want to invest in silver, and like bullion by post is primary example. And it says sold out, awaiting stock. But there's this one option there. We can give you a paper or digital receipt, and we'll keep your silver in our vault for you. They're lying. Right. They're lying.
Wouldn't trust anyone with that sort of thing. And what we're going to do, boys and girls, is we're going to have a look, actually, just what's been going on. I haven't seen this before, because you can literally, let me just double check that this is being shown. Yes, it is. Look, awaiting stock, awaiting stock, awaiting stock. Look, all of it is awaiting stock.
Same all around the world. All the bullion dealers around the world, they're all trying to buy silver at the same time, and it's just not enough. It's not enough to meet demand.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, it's going to come to a head at some point. And I was listening to this podcast earlier before coming on live now, and they were saying that it looks like governments and possibly some central banks as well are treating silver not in the traditional sense that they've always been treating it. Things have changed now. I think they're realizing the importance of silver. Moreover, I think what's prompted this decision is its use in industry. Moreover, EVs and electronics. Do you want to outline some of that for us, Dave? I mean, what sort of areas silver is used for? As much as you know about what can you do with silver. So we're talking technology, we're talking medical, we're talking investments and all the rest of it.
Yeah. So first of all, the 5 main properties of silver, why it's so incredible. It's the most electrically conductive element on the periodic table. Gold is nowhere near as good as silver. Gold scores about 30. Copper scores about 70. Copper's twice as good as gold. But silver scores perfect 100. That's why all the military, aerospace, AI data centers, they need this silver. And it's the most thermally conductive element. A lot of these new technologies, thermally conductive. It's the most reflective element on the periodic table. It's the most acoustically conductive element, which all these, the new technologies where they use, you know, Wi-Fi and scalar weaponry and things, they need silver for that. And these lasers, because it's the thermally conductive and the most reflective element, so it's for laser technology. For these lasers taking down drones, you know, there's amazing technology doing that. And then, like you say, antibacterial. Silver can kill even the superbugs. It's the most antibacterial, anti-parasitic, antimicrobial, right down to the microbe level. It's incredible. And there's these new properties now about its magnetism. There's a lot of new technologies. It seems the more technologically advanced mankind gets, the more silver they eat up. And look where we are now. You've got robots making robots, haven't you? You've got AI making new AI. The technological progress is just going rapid now. And we've used up the last of the silver. So can I talk about the figures with solar? Because I'm fascinated by this.
Yeah, you go for it. Yeah. Solar's insane. Listen to this, people.
It is. So if you look at all the solar panels ever made since the first solar panels, they were actually first solar panels in the 1970s. And since then, all the solar panels ever been made has been 2 terawatts. Now, most of that's on landfill, isn't it, Funky? Most of it, there's no solar panels left from the 1970s. But 2 terawatts is the total amount made up until 2024. And in 2024, 0.6 of a terawatt was made in 1 year. So you see a chart of it is solar panels going, and they just go whoosh like that. And this year, they're on track to make more than 1 terawatts. So that's half of all solar panels ever made in the history of solar panels are being made this year, 2025. And the silver that uses up is just insane. But
It
what's
is.
interesting, there's so many lies about it. There's an official body supposed to come out with the figures. They work for the bankers, you know. And they say it's only 200 million ounces of silver is all that's needed to make a terawatt of solar panels. But other experts say it's way more than that. They're obviously lying to make demand look less than it is. But
Again, that's another area of manipulation which we've been accustomed to over the years. And one of the things which I think is really going to make an impact is this. It's publicly known that this is a recent discovery. How true that is, we don't know. But silver is going to be working its way into the battery market, moreover EVs and everything else. Can you tell us a bit more about that, mate?
There's been a breakthrough with solid state. Now, for years, they've been talking about we're almost there. We've almost got solid state batteries. And now Samsung were the first to do it. Other companies have done it now. We've got solid state. It's proven technology. It works. I think they say EVs can do 900 miles on one charge, and you can charge them in a couple of minutes. And there's no fire hazard like the old lithium batteries. And the lifespan of the battery, it will last for decades. It's amazing technology. But each of these solid state batteries needs 1 kilo of silver. 1 kilo in each one.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, these new cars. That's 1 kilo of silver per car.
That's just for a small car.
Not enough silver on the planet for that, is there, mate? The way they're looking at expanding these EVs everywhere.
But when you think JP Morgan has smashed the price so low now, why not just track it away? 1 kilo in each car, you know? The price is still so low. Why not just use up half of mine's supply in solar panels? And that's, I think, the main point I want to get across is it's not too late. The price of silver is still incredibly low.
Yeah.
It's still it's unbelievably low. Historically, it's just so cheap.
We can look at the chart live, actually, to see what it's doing since we've been on air. This is in pound because we're used to seeing it in dollars. Right. But it's literally gone crazy. That was pretty quick, actually, when it done that. That was over the week. So if you do, let me see, 20 years. So this is what silver's been doing over 20 years. And you can tell we're right there now. So it's obvious, you know, since way back. I think, I don't know. Let me do all time. This would be interesting. All time. So we're looking at an all-time high right now. It hasn't been that high since this was 1975 we got there. So 1971, Dave, tell everyone what happened in 1971 going up to now and all of the people involved in the manipulation of the price, why it's been kept so low for so long.
But I tell you what, this is nothing. If you look at a big chart, in a couple of years' time, this where we are now is way down here. You know, I think it's going to be several £100 per ounce, you know, in years to come. It's still being manipulated incredibly low. When the manipulation ends, and all manipulations will end. Some people do say to me, no, Dave, the manipulation will never end. They're going to keep it down here. But if that was true, then we're literally going to run out of silver. You know, there's shortages now, isn't it? There's extreme shortages.
Well, yeah, because like most of the silver around the planet is usually mined from Peru. So I can literally see sometime in the next 5 years, I would say, there's going to be lots of positioning, should we say, in the markets around Peru, because these mines are going to be proper secured, aren't they, really? Because as we can sort of look into the future a bit of where silver is going to be used, like Dave said, it's got massive uses in hospital, in medical, in the military as well. And we're looking at the commercial market, more over batteries and technology. I mean, even off the top of my head, what Trump's doing in America with the Project Stargate, you know, the biggest construction ever in history, apparently. And it's all going to be a massive AI data center. How much silver is going to get pumped into just that infrastructure alone? I mean, the list goes on, mate, doesn't it? Where
the list goes on. You're right, tens of thousands of uses. And the power, the electricity, you know, all these data centers use so much electricity. The new green agenda, which we know is all nonsense, but they're doing it. They're building all these solar panels, using up all this, and the nuclear. Can we talk about nuclear for a minute? Because I think not a lot of people know this. Since the 1950s, the first nuclear reactors, each nuclear reactor, they have these silver control rods. This is what is the brakes for the nuclear reactor. It's 80% silver. One nuclear control rod, I think they say, is tens of thousands of ounces of silver. 80% silver, and there's big assemblies of these tens of thousands of ounces of control rods. That's what you need to control the nuclear reactor. It lasts 5 years, Funky. 5 years is so high-level radioactive waste, it's discarded. That was 1950s. So 1955, they all go into nuclear waste. 1960, they all go into 1965. Every 5 years. And of course, the number of nuclear reactors is expanding exponentially, isn't it? The 1980s, there was loads. Now, the amount of nuclear power stations being built all around the world, and they need silver. They can't do it without silver. And what's interesting, there's a bit of a conspiracy theory that some of this silver is not getting dumped with a high-level nuclear waste. Maybe, I don't know if it's true, but there's one definite guy in America, and there's others who said they're using a Geiger counter, and some of their silver is radioactive.
Yes, I've heard that in some of the gold as well. I mean,
Right.
if you remember that James Bond film,
Yeah,
when he went into Fort Knox, wasn't it? And he said, "Well, that gold was radioactive." So it does make you think, doesn't it, when he plants seeds in advance and it comes out years later?
probably worth. You can buy a Geiger counter on Amazon, can't you? You can get one, get hold of one. Just check your silver. Well, it wouldn't surprise me if we're that short of silver, instead of dumping this high-level nuclear waste, are they getting some of that silver out and it's going into circulation? That would be, I mean, that would be hideous if that was true. People are putting this in their water, aren't they? Drinking water, and it purifies your water. What if you didn't know that was high-level radioactive waste? All the cancer rates going up. So I think it's worth, the two things you want to test. You want to test is real silver, first of all. Doesn't matter who you buy it from. Even if you buy it from the most reputable dealer in the world, you want to get good at testing it, make sure it's real. And I'm going to check all my silver now for radiation, you know.
Do you know what?
Geiger counter.
That's quite an interesting point, actually, because, well, you'll remember this because you spent a lot of time in Japan when Fukushima happened. Yep. If you went on eBay around that time trying to get a Geiger counter, forget it. And if you did find one, the prices were nuts. And there were some companies offering kits to build your own. So that's a quite interesting viewpoint, because I've been in the electronic sector for donkey's years, assembling things like this. So it's something I could easily do, make my own Geiger counter. And who knows, mate? It'd be quite astonishing to find out that that's glowing in the dark, if you know what I mean.
Look, it's invisible to us. We wouldn't know, would we?
Well, yeah.
What a serious situation. If this high-level nuclear waste is not being dumped and it is getting out into circulation because there's that much of a shortage of silver. You know, you mentioned the military before. The official thing, there's so many lies in the silver market. It's serious lies. Now, this one guy, Jeffrey Christian, is a spokesman for the bankers. He works for the CPM group, and he puts out the official figures, supply demand of silver. And he says the official figures are 50 million ounces of silver is all that's used in all the military around the world. That's what, and he can say that with a straight face, you know, no, it's only 50 million ounces. That is ridiculous. You think of America, the aircraft carriers, the nuclear submarines, the missiles. Think of all the secret military stuff that we don't know about, all the testing going on. I mean, America doesn't know how much silver China's using up. China and Russia don't know about Britain and America's secret military project. So I don't know how he comes up with 50 million, but it's a tiny amount, isn't it? There's a good website called silverwars.com, and they are calling out the lies of the bankers. They say it's 10 times that. That's the minimum. I think it's 500 million ounces of silver, or 500 million ounces of silver every year are getting used up in military. Because we can look at some figures that we know about. Some of these torpedoes, each one uses 18,000 ounces of silver in one torpedo. It just gets blown up in testing and training exercises. Most of these missiles, you know, there's so many missiles, aren't there? I've forgotten the name of them, but a lot of these smart bombs, they're about 500 ounces in each smart bomb. It just gets blown up. You're not going to get that back. It's like the high-level nuclear waste, isn't it? You're not going to get that back.
I know. And do you know what I was thinking of this the other day? Because obviously silver, in our opinion at least, is becoming rarer. Because, you know, the price of silver has been quite low for some time. Obviously been manipulated to stay that way. Lots of silver in electronic devices and other things that it's used in wasn't really being recycled because the cost of doing it didn't justify to getting the silver. Now we're going to see silver get expensive. I can absolutely see lots of silver being recycled from electronic waste for one thing. But, you know, the military,
up a long way.
I think the military is a whole new level. Like I say, black ops stuff, who knows what actually gets spent.
How much is classified we don't know about. But when it comes to like the solar panels, like since the 70s and 80s, those first, they're all on landfill now, aren't they? All the first solar panels. Now, I heard the figures. I don't know how true this is, but silver would have to be about $3,000 per ounce to make it economic to retrieve that from landfill, from electrical waste. Now, it costs about the same to get an ounce of gold or an ounce of silver back from waste, from landfill. Yeah. And gold is what, $4,500 now? It is economic to get gold back, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
To get an ounce of gold back will cost about $3,000 or $4,000, and it is economic to do that. Silver's $50 an ounce. They're not going to spend $3,000 to get 1 ounce of silver back and make a loss of $2,995. You know, it's just not economical to do it.
No, it's
not.
But
I think that's what's going to have to happen, Funky. They're going to have to. The price of silver will go to 3,000, and then it is economic to get it back from landfill. Think how many laptops and computers, screens have been thrown away over the last several decades. You know, so many all around the world.
Yeah, I done a live stream with a friend of mine. I had him up here for a while, and I've got a great big carrier bag. It's up there now, but I've probably got about 60 old school phones going right back from the Nokia 3210 right up to Blackberries and all the rest of it. Personally, I just don't like the idea of giving my old phone to someone for money, because you can get data from it. So I'm a big advocate of privacy, so I kept all of mine. And who knows, one day, I know, do you know what? I know one phone for certain. When I got it, it was a Sony phone made in Japan, and it was limited edition, and it had 24 karat gold on the logo and bits and pieces on there. I know, not a chance taking that to cash converters. No way, not on your Nelly. But one thing
will go up.
I'll tell you what, though, we've got some people, we've got 150 odd people in the chat right now. I no doubt when this when people catch on to this over the next couple of days, we're gonna have quite a few thousand views watching this. But I don't know what the viewers are going to know about, should we say, the history of silver. So before 1971, things were happening with silver, but 1971 a lot changed, and a lot of manipulation has happened since then, which is why the prices have been so low. I mean, the silver to gold ratio has been nuts, and hopefully one day we're going to see silver come up close to gold, where it should be, in my opinion. So if you can you give people, take your time, all of the history that you know about how silver got manipulated and who was involved over all of these years?
Well, from the 70s was so interesting, because there was 3 billionaire brothers in the 70s called the Hunt brothers. And, you know, a billionaire back in the 70s is a lot more wealth than a billionaire today, isn't it? The dollar's gone down so much. And these 3 brothers, the oldest one, Nelson Bunker Hunt, he said, any fool can run a printing press, but it takes a lot of energy to mine silver. So all they didn't do anything wrong. They just started buying a lot of silver, because they thought it's undervalued, there's manipulation, I want to buy a lot of silver. They're not doing anything wrong, are they? They think it's safe. And the price started going up and up and up and up and up. And of course, the governments and the bankers who are above the governments told the government, they said, make it illegal to buy silver. Close the buy option. You can't buy silver. And they came down really hard on the Hunt brothers. And now history tries to say, oh, they tried to corner the market in silver. Well, they just bought a lot of silver, you know, that's all they did. And then, since the 80s, 90s, the manipulation has been so intense. And to make it as simple as possible, in as few as possible words, they've flooded the market with paper and digital promises of silver. The big bullion banks, they make it look like the market is flooded with silver. I think they say 500 to 1. For every 1 ounce silver left in available supply, that's sold 500 times. Like you said, the ETFs, all the pooled accounts, the short position on the COMEX, the Commodities Futures Exchange. So it looks like, well, silver's just so plentiful in supply. Of course the price goes down. And imagine if you could just sell, millions of ounces of silver you haven't got. You sell that into the market. Of course, you're going to push the price down. And they've been doing that for years. And they keep doing that. And of course, the problem is now the real physical is running out. And here we are now, the end of 2025. There's a panic. London's run out. New York's run out. China's running out. And what the conspiracy theory is that there's these emergency flights, flying silver around the world. And they've got a real problem here. They've run out. So they fly it in. Imagine the cost of flying the silver over to New York. They count it there. We've got this in inventory. Now, put it on the trucks, put it back on the flights. They fly it back to London, but they leave it as it's still in inventory in New York, which is a lie because it's gone. They fly that same silver back to London and count it here because they're so desperate for it in London. And we had this admitted by Jeffrey Christian. He slipped it out and he definitely said, it's the same silver. He said it's coming back to London. It was in London, but we had to fly it to New York to count it there. And now it's coming back to London.
No way.
He admitted that. We got it on tape. And I don't know how he's going to spin that now, but that just proves there's an extreme shortage. There's something really extreme shortage going on.
Bloody hell, mate. That's just insane, isn't it?
It's crazy, the shortage.
Wow.
But you mentioned before, like India, Russia, India, and China.
Yeah,
so they are, think of it, in the 1970s, there was three brothers. They were billionaires. They'd inherited a billion empire from their father. But they were nothing, just three billionaires. The modern day billionaires are Russia, China, and India. The modern day Hunt brothers. All three of them, they don't trust the dollar, and all their friends, the BRICS nations, they are buying huge amounts of silver. It's big time. So Russia has announced that they're going to try and restock. They used to have a big silver stockpile. It's all got depleted to feed industry. They want to go into the market and try and restock that up. They're going to officially try and restock their silver stockpile. Now, India is fascinating how much they're buying. They've basically remonetized silver. And they're encouraging the people, because Indians they love gold, don't they? The wedding season, they all love gold. Well, now India's really encouraged them to buy silver instead of gold. And what they've said is all these schemes been announced by the Indian government. You can rent your silver to the bank, you can lease it to the bank, and you can borrow against it. So you can take your silver, if you've got real physical silver, you can take it to the bank, they'll test it, weigh it, and you can borrow 70% of that loan to value as a secured, you can borrow against it. And what people are doing, they're taking, they say they got 10 kilo, they take it to the bank, they borrow 70% of that, they go and buy another 7 kilos. There's leverage. Because the price has got, you're safe, aren't you? As long as the price keeps going up at this rate, you're safe.
Yeah.
So demand is absolutely crazy. Demand all around the world. So it is getting very difficult. I've had people, they want to buy silver. I've sold this, I've sold my car, I've liquidated assets. I want to buy silver regularly. And like you showed, bullion by post is all sold out. It takes a bit of effort. It's hard. And the price is going up. But you're still early. You can still buy. And what I recommend is what a lot of people say to just every month try and buy a bit. Even if you only buy 1 ounce. 1 ounce.
Yeah.
Keep buying a little bit and often. That's the best way to do it.
Because I really don't think we're going to see silver go underneath $50 an ounce now. I think that's looking quite stable, where it's not going to go back down to 30 to 28 like we saw not that long ago, really.
Yep.
And it's just gone mental now. So I get the same, Dave. I get people say to me, I wish I got silver. It's getting too expensive now. I said, mate, if you think $54 an ounce is expensive, come and talk to me in 2 years' time, and let's have a nice, cozy chat around the fire. Because I'll guarantee you would have missed out.
You 100%. Wish you bought it at 50. Yeah. If you can buy under 100, you're laughing. Laughing.
I know. And the weird thing is, I know lots of us have been saying once silver went over 30. It's going to go up. Once it went over 40, it went up. But I want you to explain, because since the last time we chatted on this channel, we've got an extra 7,000 new subscribers. So I doubt very much that they've seen what you were saying earlier. But if you can explain how detailed you want it to, really, about what it means when we saw that cup
right
in the trades.
It's people who study charts. There's a few patterns throughout history. You look at them, this pattern happened and then this happened. And there's something called the cup and handle chart pattern. And 99% of the time, when there's a cup and handle, it shoots up. It's a very recognizable chart pattern. And the bigger it is, the longer it is, the more powerful it is. And this cup and handle goes back to 1979. I don't know if you can put it in dollars. Can you, up to from 1979?
Yeah, I just flipped onto a different thing.
Don't worry. But anyway, 1979, it drew the left-hand side of the cup. It drew up to $50. And then for decades, up until 2011, it drew a perfect cup. $50 again, 2011, $50 again. And then it didn't come right down to the bottom of the cup. It drew a perfect handle then, up until 2025, and it drew a handle. And now we've breached that handle. We're above $50 now. For the third time, we're above the top of the cup. And everybody knows that is an incredibly bullish signal. So if you think chart patterns, are consistent and they've got any merit to them, this is it's the most bullish chart pattern you could ever get. And it's the longest since the 1970s. I think it's the biggest, longest cup and handle chart formation ever of anything in history, I think.
Yeah, there we go. We can see it there going up again.
Right.
This is it's not fair, because when I use this app on my phone, it's brilliant. But when you go on desktop, it just seems really retarded. It's ridiculous. So I don't know my way around it. But I could have really shown it pretty well. So I know what you're talking about. And yeah, history repeats, doesn't it?
It does. So the chart's looking at 600 silver. That's what, if you look at chart patterns, the cup and handle 3 times this, and now we've breached the top of the cup. It's looking like $600 silver, probably by next year, probably. But of course, they're going to try and manipulate it like anything. But just be patient.
Oh yeah,
be patient.
It's not going away anytime soon. And how much would you? It's probably impossible questions. I feel pretty bad asking it, really. How much do you think is in the mines silver? Is it undisclosed, or they don't know? Have they got an estimate?
I think the truth is there's loads of silver. There's loads of silver in the ground. But what matters is how hard is it to get? Now, there's no such thing as peak silver. I think that's a long way off. We haven't got peak silver, but we've hit peak easy to get to silver. The easy to get to stuff. Because if you're the manager of a mine, you just want cash flow now, don't you? Let's go for the easy to get to stuff. Profits now. I look like I'm doing a good job. They just get all the easy to get to silver. And that's all been got to now. There is more silver deposits there that they know about, but it's very costly from energy and time and difficulty to get it. And it wasn't economic to do so before, such a low price. The price has got to go up a long way to make the mining costs. It is economic to overcome these difficulties to mine that last silver. Now, what's interesting about silver is about 70-something% is a byproduct. There's not many pure silver mines left because the price has been so manipulated, so down. So what byproduct means is all the costs of running the mine, all the permitting, the energy, to bring the ore up, that gets put on whatever mine it is. Like if it's a gold mine, and then the silver, that's already been paid for. That's here. We got that up here at the surface. It's left over when we've got the gold out. So they say, our mining cost for silver is very low, but mining cost for gold, that's like, $3,000 per ounce. But it's ridiculous because, have you heard of electrum?
No.
Naturally occurring deposit of gold and silver. It could be like 50-50. It could be 30% silver, 70% gold. It's a naturally occurring deposit of gold and silver. Now, to mine that electrum or whatever depth, it costs the same, doesn't it? The gold and the silver. It's exactly the same cost to mine that and bring it up. But they put all the costs onto gold, and they say the silver's already been paid for. That's just free. That's why it's so cheap. They could just as easily put the costs on silver. Say it costs $3,000 to mine an ounce of silver, and the gold that's left over, that's like $20 mining cost because it's already been paid for.
Bloody hell! That's insane, isn't it? And like you said, I'll tell you what was interesting though, which we touched on the other live stream, was the really good beneficial effects of colloidal silver. Now, I've noticed that the price of colloidal silver has gone up quite a lot, especially since 2020. And I remember a long time ago, I don't know what you've done with the video, but you've done a video showing people how to make it. Now, that was really cool. So what do you think about colloidal silver, and has it got a place? Should preppers be having it in their medical cabinet?
Absolutely. Off-grid for, for a bug out, like to have it there to be able to make it. Any kind of topical bacterial infection or any wound that gets infected, any kind of infection, internal or external, you've got an ear infection, eye infection, or anything like that, or a rash. Colloidal silver is brilliant. It's a natural antibiotic. I'd rather take that than any synthetic antibiotic. And there's loads of information out there how to make it. Those maple leaves you got there, they're brilliant. If you could have 2 of those and a battery bank, there's loads of videos how to make colloidal silver. And yeah, if you could make your own, I think don't take it too much, because it does kill good bacteria as well as the bad, So you got to think, does the advantage outweigh the disadvantage? If you're in a situation where you are going to take antibiotics, take colloidal silver. That's a natural antibiotic. It's less harmful than a synthetic antibiotics. It's more powerful as well.
Absolutely right. And do you know what? I can actually say this because recently I was had a few medical issues, and the long story short is I was told to take some antibiotics to kill off this internal infection that I had. And that box hasn't been opened yet. Good. Instead of taking that, what I'd done was I was probably having, let me see. It's hard to try and guess because I just literally just pouring it into the glass. I would say an ordinary like dessert spoon. I was probably having about 4 of those. And obviously I didn't use metal spoon. I just poured it in as a guess. And I was having that twice a day for 3 days. Guess what? I went back, got the test done, infection completely gone. And I didn't need to use my antibiotics. I used the colloidal silver that I've had for years.
Natural antibiotic. Good.
And it works. I'm not joking, people. I'm not making it up. It absolutely worked. Okay.
What I'd say is, though, Funky, have some kind of probiotics, sauerkraut or kimchi or kefir, because it will kill good bacteria as well. So promote the good bacteria when you're on it. But absolutely.
That's a good point, actually. I was having, what's it called? Is that kefir, that yogurt?
Yeah, good. Yep.
That stuff. I was literally drunk a whole liter of that stuff in 2 days. Good. And you're absolutely right. And another good thing as well is if you do have some sort of heavy metals inside you, obviously not the good silver stuff, but the bad stuff, a really good thing to have is medicated charcoal.
Right.
And rather than buying medicated charcoal, you can make your own. And all you do is you literally have a great big fire, hardwoods preferably. Once you've got those coals and they're scalding white stroke orange hot, if you plunge those coals straight into cold water, that's where the magic happens. It makes a chemical reaction. You get literally billions of tiny little holes forged through them coals. And at that point, it turns into medicated charcoal, which you can have. And when you see medicated charcoal under a microscope, it is so sharp and spiky. When it goes through the bloodstream and everything else, it literally drags all of those heavy metals out of your system. And like Dave rightly said, colloidal silver, every prepper should have that in their kit, because the stuff I had, it lasts for years. All you got to do is make sure you keep it away from sunlight, keep it cool, and make sure that you got it preferably in a glass bottle rather than a plastic one. But that stuff's incredible, Dave, isn't it? Like you said, you cut yourself and you put that on there.
Any kind of wound, it heals, helps with the healing. Absolutely brilliant. Can I talk about this other thing that I was talking to Chris Dwayne recently? He's in America, and I say, look him up. If you haven't heard of Chris Dwayne, look at what he says. And he's talking about now there's a real need for leadership, for a lot of people who've been buying silver and are starting to buy silver now. You're going to find you are very, very wealthy in a year or 2 years, and I think a lot of people are not ready for that. And if you're inexperienced, a fool and his money is soon parted,
Yeah.
So I think we've got to all be together, encourage each other and help each other. Don't sell too early. Silver's going to go crazy. And if you're weak, wow, $1,000 per ounce. Look at all the money I've made. I sell back into fear. Soon after that, a loaf of bread costs 500 or 1,000. It's not that the silver's going up. It's just the dollar is crashing.
Yeah.
And we mustn't sell too early. And what me and Chris are talking about now is this, starting in India, you can borrow against your silver. And there's other options as well. You can rent your silver out. It's so desperate for silver. So I think have a mindset now. I want to accumulate. Now I want to buy. I think everyone watching this, please try and buy silver and have it in your head. I'm not going to sell. I'm not going to sell too early. You could say I'm not going to sell at all. You know, you could borrow against it. You can, you know, use that for projects, or you can rent it out. And what me and Chris are talking about is setting up some bank liaison committees, because everybody says, you're quite right, you can't trust the banks, can you? I'm not going to give my silver to the banks. I don't trust them. But if you're not going to sell it, what are you going to do? You're going to just grow old and your silver will be there. Now, there's a scale of risk to reward. Now, no risk, no reward is, yeah, you just keep your silver, don't rent it to the banks. No risk, no reward. And then this side, you give all your silver to the banks and you rent it all to them. High risk, high reward. So I think middle ground. Don't give all your silver to the banks. But when the option comes, the banks are so desperate. They're desperate now. They want to lease silver. The lease rates are going up. They will borrow it off you and they will rent it off you. Give a bit of it, whatever your risk to reward tolerance is, and do it through one of our bank liaison committees, because together we're powerful. If there's any funny business at all where you can't get your silver back, the bank liaison committees will all withdraw all of our silver from the banks and we won't lend them anymore. And they're desperate for it. They're absolutely desperate for it. Why they're desperate for it is because they're short now billions of ounces. They owe this much silver and they've got these huge margin calls. You know, if it depends on how much they've got, the more silver they've got, the less margin calls they've got. And even if it's not owned, they're leasing it. The lease rates are shooting up. The shortages are so severe. So I think the best exit strategy, never sell. I won't sell my silver. I don't mind renting it out, or I might borrow against it, but never sell. And now's the time to accumulate. Now's the time to buy while it's still so cheap.
Yeah, totally. And do you know what? As you were saying that, my mate in America, Pilgrim, who's in the chat now, Jay, he was saying that the only time he's going to sell is when he can buy land of it. And I happen to sort of wander along the same thought process as that myself, because if you can imagine, yeah, let me just show you, because this sort of thing needs to be visually explained as well. So can you imagine that this is now over $50 for one of these? Can you imagine at some point in the future that that would buy you 5 acres of land? Just one coin. This isn't BS. This could absolutely happen one of these days. Now, the big $1 million question is, when will that be? But I would say after 2030, that will absolutely probably be a reality, Dave, won't it?
Yeah, I reckon before that, probably. I think before
that. Wow.
Yeah.
Incredible, dude.
It all depends when the manipulation will end. You know, we don't know. We want the manipulation to end. And then the question is, what is the true value of silver? That's nobody can answer that. What is the freely traded value of silver when the manipulation ends?
Yeah.
The illustration is holding a beach ball underwater. And that's what the bullion banks are doing. They're pushing a beach ball underwater. They're pushing it down and they're losing control. It's coming up a bit. When they lose control, it shoots to the surface. Now, the surface is true value. That's fair value. But when it shoots up, a beach ball will come above the surface for a short time. And then it'll settle back on long-term value. And we know through history, thousands of years, the true value of silver is 3.1 grams is valued at a 12-hour day's wage. That's a tenth of an ounce. Tenth of a troy ounce is 12-hour day's wage. So that's the true value. That's the surface of the water. But the beach ball shoots above the surface for a short time. You might go to 1 gram of silver is a 12-hour day's wage. You might go to that for a short time. Overshoot on the correction.
Do you know what? It's very interesting, because as you were saying it, I was casting my mind back to a friend of mine who's dead now, unfortunately. His name is Ian R. Crane. Now, back in, I think it was 2010, he said to me that the age-old term referring to gold was 1 ounce of gold should be able to buy you a reasonably priced suit. Now, at that time, I think it was around £800 an ounce. Now, how much is gold now? 2,300, whatever it is. So when you think of that as a standard, you know, would you say that £2,300 is a price, an average price for a suit? I've got a feeling gold's overpriced and silver's underpriced. What do you think of that?
But that's true. I mean, all through history, back in ancient Rome, it would buy you a toga, and it handmade, like the highest quality toga and the best like fitted shoes and things. But if you go to London now, is it John Phillips London? I don't know. What's some of the really posh, expensive place to get a handmade suit where they measure you, handmade leather shoes? It probably
No,
is.
that'd be German Street, London, mate.
Yeah, I don't know. But that would cost about an ounce of gold, wouldn't it? You know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I suppose
But,
when you think about it, yeah, we're talking now where Ian said a reasonably priced suit. I think we could be talking bordering high-end suits, really, when you think about it. It's almost like going to Marks and Spencer's for your turkey rather than going to Aldi, if that makes sense.
I'll go to Harrods, you know, that's like, I mean, 1 ounce of gold would always buy the very best, wouldn't it? Now, you're right about gold. I think gold will still go up. It's still going to go up from here, but silver's going to go up faster. The gold-silver ratio now, was it still 80 to 1? That's ridiculous, isn't it? It's been 15 to 1 for 4,500 years. And it's an anomaly now, 80 to 1.
Wow.
And that is because all through history, about 15 ounces of silver were mined for every 1 ounce of gold. So that's the natural ratio, isn't it? 15 parts silver worth 1 of gold. Now, silver mined ratio is 7 to 1. It's halved.
Bloody hell. Oh, my God. That's nuts, isn't it, when you actually start thinking of all of these variables, because there's a lot around silver.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
There's so many variables, you're right. Basically, the silver is like half the density of gold. It's like half the weight for the mass, isn't it? So silver is up nearer the surface of the Earth's crust more. Gold is deeper. You do get gold veins come right up to the surface. You can get nuggets right on the surface, but very rare. But as you go deeper, the ore grade gets more gold. Whereas silver is a higher ore grade near the surface. What I was saying before, the easy to get to silver's been got to. As you go deeper, the ore grade gets lower. Like per 10 ton of silver, there's only like 0. whatever it is of. As you go lower, the ore grade of silver goes down and the ore grade of gold goes up. That's why it was 15 to 1 ounces years ago for years. It's going down now. It was 9 to 1, 8 to 1. Now it's 7 to 1. 7 ounces of silver are being mined for every 1 of gold. So that really should be the ratio, shouldn't it? You should be able to buy 7 ounces of silver with 1 ounce of gold. But now you've got a gift. It's 80. 80. 1 ounce of gold, you could buy 80 ounces of silver. It's just ridiculous. It's too cheap.
Bloody hell, isn't it just?
Too cheap. Yeah.
It makes you wonder, you know, if people are holding gold, maybe sell it and put it into silver.
Absolutely. I would. I haven't got any gold, but if I had, now's
me
the
neither.
Sell gold. But I think sell anything you've got. I think if we all look in our sheds, in our attics, we've probably got stuff we could sell, and we all have. Sell what you can now, and if you can liquidate any assets now, buy as much silver as you can, then go and buy that stuff back if you want when the gold silver ratio goes back to 7 to 1.
What would you say, asking for a friend, if you had £30,000 in a bog standard current account, should it be invested? If so, what would it be invested in?
I'd say put it all into silver. I'm a silver maximalist. Put it all into silver now. You can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. If you put that all into silver now, as long as you know it's real silver, that's where you could go wrong. You test it, make sure you bought real silver.
Yeah.
I mean, 30 grand, probably 15 kilos of silver, is it? It's about £2,000 for a kilo now.
Yeah.
If you could buy 15 kilos of silver now, this time next year, you'll have easily doubled your money. Maybe somewhere between doubled your money and 10x your money. That could be 300,000 next year. Seriously.
Wow.
And the thing is, if you buy, like, say, 15 1 kilo bars, that's private and anonymous. It's very safe.
That's what I was going to say. What sort of denominations? I would go smaller rather than get one big bar.
Yeah, go smaller if you can. Yeah. It doesn't really matter. I think you're right. The smaller it is, the better for if you're going to be trading and things, buying things.
Yeah.
But just get the silver. That's the thing. It's getting hard to get. There's lines outside the bullion shops, and people are going on waiting lists. It takes a bit of effort now. Just
say, for argument's sake, right? You got £30,000 and you went to bullion bar post, just as an example, because it always comes up top of the search. Loads of people use it. It's well renowned and known. So I'm using it as a base example. Bullion bar post. I'm not sponsored or paid by them. It's just there, and everyone knows about it. If you was to sort of phone them up or send them an email, say, look, I've got 30k. I want to get 1 ounce silver bars or even coins for that matter. Can I send you the money now? And then if so, how long would it take for me to get the physical silver? What do you think they would say at this moment in time?
They would say, yeah, pay for it now and go on a waiting list. But that waiting list is getting longer.
Yeah.
And it's a risk, isn't it? Apparently, the Royal Mint in the UK has been doing that. Loads of people say, I want to buy it. And they say, we're sold out, we're sold out. And they did exactly what you said. Can I give you the money now? I won't go on a waiting list. As soon as you've got it, can you give it to me? Loads of people did that. And the Royal Mint refunded them all. Very sorry, we just can't get the silver. They all just got refunded.
Wow.
And they're really annoyed. I mean, hang on. I locked in my price. I bought it. You can't just cancel it now. But they can't get hold of the silver. They can't get it.
Well,
you can buy
so it's
1 or
probably
2
a bit
ounces
too late
here.
to do that sort of thing then, do you reckon?
It's going to be hard, but you can do it. I mean, there are options. You know, you've got to ring up. If you go to any bullion dealer and they say sold out, sold out, sold out, you say, look, I'm prepared to pay for it. What can you do for me? And if you make them an offer they can't refuse, they're going to find you some silver. You know, they might know someone, something like that. And that's what is going to be required now. It's hard. You have to put extra effort in and be prepared. You're going to have to pay way more than you thought you'd have to.
Up front as well.
Yeah, you've got to put the effort in. You've got to. I think for those of us who are just buying 1 or 2 ounces, you can do it. That's no, or even a tube. But yeah, 30 grand. I think you're going to find it very hard to find anybody who's got that. You have to do it slowly over the months, I think.
Yeah.
It requires effort, but it's worth putting the effort in.
Right. Okay. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to have a little quick mooch on eBay just to see what the prices are going for. Because every now and again I do that just to check. And when you do your search, I always do price ending soonest. So I'll put silver coins in bullion and bar section. Right. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share the screen, people. This is basically today's date is the 13th of November 2025, and it's coming up to 9 p.m. What we're going to do is we're going to see currently what silver coins are doing on Evil Bay. Okay, so if I go on to ending soonest, okay, well, look at that, 1 ounce, £71.
I say that's a good buy. That's a low price, though.
Let me, what I'm going to do, oh god, this is it's so different than the app on your phone. I'm trying to see item location. There it is, UK only. There we go, because I don't want to see what's going.
Yeah.
So this is what's ending soonest. Maybe possibly something to do with the design, why that's at that price. I don't know.
I think 60, 70 pounds, you're not going to be able to buy, listener. The paper price is what, 41 pounds at the moment. Yeah. I think about 60 pounds. I'd be happy to buy 1 ounce for 60. You can get it less than that, you're doing really well.
Wow, look at this. Yeah, look at this one, Dave.
Wow, monster bucks.
Look at that. 500 1 ounce Britannias going for 28.5 long ones.
What's that each? Yeah, 30,000 for 500, is it? Yeah. That's good buy. Wow. It's a risk though, isn't it? I mean, buying from anywhere is a risk, isn't it? Even if it's the most reputable dealer with 100 years history of good, reputation, I still wouldn't trust them. So if you buy on eBay, make sure you learn how to test it. If I bought that monster box, I would test each and every one of those coins.
Oh god,
There's fakes coming out from China. The fakes are so good nowadays. You can't tell just by looking at it.
Wow, look at that. Nearly £100 for 2 maples.
That's about right. No, it's a good buy. £50 each. That's a very good buy.
Oh, I'm gonna cry. Because you never guess what happened, and because my financial situation's been dire since February, probably. It's been so bad. I had to sell 15 1 ounce silver coins, one at a time, £35 each. And that was a month ago. And I really didn't want to sell them. It was a friend of mine said, look, if you really need the money, sell some of your silver, and when you get some, you can always get it back. And then if I had a crystal ball and see what the prices are doing now, insane what's going down now. But yeah,
still keep trying to get. I think have a goal. Everybody just try and buy 1 ounce a month, a minimum of 1 ounce. And some people can buy 10 ounces, or some people buy a tube every month. But just keep buying. The way we want to put it is, you want to take silver out of available supply.
Yes,
because the available supply is shrinking. Yep.
Yeah.
That's how we end the manipulation. Once there's a failure to deliver, you know, Apple can't make the latest iPhone. Tesla can't make the latest car. You know, BYD can't make, because they literally can't get the silver. The manipulation ends that day when that happens. Yeah. And the way to bring that forward that day, the way to make that happen, if enough people take silver out of available supply, the day when there's a failure to deliver, the manipulation ends. If we can all do our bit, you know, just keep saving silver, and we want to drain all the silver out of available supply.
Yeah. Yeah, Dave, you want to look at this, mate? I've just pulled this up as we were chatting then. Look at what SLV's doing. It's almost trying to mirror that cup, isn't it, in a weird way?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. And that goes right back to probably, I don't know, 2005, I guess, something like that. 2006, sorry. So, and yeah.
They insist they don't worry, we really have got this much silver in the vault. They might well have, but it's been double counted. It's the same silver that was flown to London, counted there. It's flown to the COMEX, counted there. They double counting the silver many times. They're short billions of ounces of silver. Billions.
It's insane. It really is insane, isn't it? Oh my God. I still find it really hard to fully believe that lots of people, now let's say it right, lots of people are holding ETFs from SLV. Yeah. So many people. And I'll tell you, I don't know when, but I heard this on a podcast. I think it was this morning. They were saying when the average Joe, whether it's in America or the UK, wake up and see what's been happening with silver, that's going to squeeze it even more. And like you said, if you can literally get the real stuff out of the market and into your home and hide it away or whatever you feel you want to do, that price is going to go higher and higher and higher. And then when you add into or factor in all of the uses that's going to be needed for medical, technology, and military, like you said before,
robotics, AI data,
mental.
Yeah. The figures to remember are every year there's about 800 million ounces mined. That's the supply. 800 million. Remember, 0.8 billion ounces are mined. And I think it's something like 2% of that goes to coins and bars. We want to increase that. The demand is getting more. It might be 10% of that has to go into fabrication of bullion, bars, and coins because the demand is there. And the industrial demand is way more than 100% of that. There's a deficit. You know, solar panels, I think, are using 500 million ounces every year now that they've ramped up. Military, I think, is at least 500 million ounces. Well, that's 1 billion right there, and there's only 0.8 of a billion being mined. And then you've got the AI data centers using so much silver, and the nuclear control rods, the EVs, 1 kilo in each EV soon with the solid-state batteries. I mean, the price of silver is going to go ballistic. It's going to. When the day comes that there's a failure to deliver, silver's become extinct in industrial quantities, which is by the ton. Then the price, I think they'll close down markets. We don't know what the price of silver is. The governments, they're probably going to make some announcements, you know, as they've done before. It's illegal to hold silver. You've got to give your silver to the government, you know. That might happen. You know, I hope it doesn't. But I think only the very foolish people will go and give their silver to the government if that day comes. Because it's been done before, hasn't it? Gold and silver confiscation.
Yeah, I remember a friend of mine saying about, I'll have to go trawl back and try and find them. He sent me a link to an article saying that there's a potential in the near future that silver could be almost like confiscated. I'm thinking, whoa, you've got to be really controlled to hand over your silver.
You know what Chris Duane says? If that happens, the thing about physical silver is you can lose it. You know, I'm not going to lie. I'm telling the truth. I've lost it. I'm sorry, I've lost it. But you might find it again. You might not. I mean,
I can't put my hands on it right now. Sorry.
Yeah. Because this is a common question people have. You know, how do I store it? You know, Chris Duane, he's like the OG silver stack. He says 2 rules are never store at home. A little bit at home is okay, but not too much at home. Yeah. And never store in a third party like vault, safety deposit vault, or a bank or something like that. Unless you're renting it to them and you're happy with the risk. But he says, think like a pirate. You know, I got survival caches and I keep a knife. I got some combat boots, a tent, a tarp. Keep all survival supplies near as well. Different caches in different places.
Yeah, same here.
And just wait. Just be patient, wait. And if there's a confiscation, I'm sorry I lost it in an unfortunate camping accident. You might find it again, but they're not entitled to that information.
Yeah. Or you could just say, I got hard up and I had to swap it for some food or something. And
Exactly.
I've got none left, mate. You know, so
it's private. It's anonymous, isn't it? It's the one asset. It's not registered. Like house or property is not private. It's all on land registry. You know, there's so many things that silver is completely private outside the system. It's the best way to store your wealth. Very safe.
I'll tell you what. This one was quite interesting because I was thinking the other day, because money is tight and I really don't want to start dipping into this. I was thinking it would be cool, and I could see it actually happening in the future at some point, that you could absolutely use that to buy things. Now, I've got a friend in BRECON who does lots of freeze-dried food and things like this, and he likes to exchange, trade, and he takes silver as well. How many sort of businesses or companies or people that you know or where they go will accept silver as some form of currency in the UK? Have you heard of anything?
Yeah, it's happening in Wales. You know, you're in Wales there. I think Wales is it's like the self-reliant, it's like the prepper capital of the world now. And Southwest Wales now, there's a big community of, they're producing food, poultry, eggs, you know, good quality meat, salad bags, fruit, nuts, and they have these farmers market meetups. And you can just pay fiat currency, pounds, if you like, or you can barter. If you could swap your honey for your cider, you know, barter. But if you can't quite get it exactly right, silver and copper. And that's private, anonymous. The big governments, the big corporations can't see that. It's not on the blockchain. It's completely private, isn't it? You just hand over silver grams and you buy the goods. And I think anybody, if you want to buy a vehicle, or you want to buy a boat or something, or a caravan, you know, whatever it is, look, I'm interested in what you've got for sale. Would you be interested in this many grams of silver? And they might, oh no, I want this many, you know, and well, I'm offering this much. And you negotiate, don't you? And you find a middle ground. Yeah. And you can do it. You can buy things with silver. Silver is money. I think that'd be very good in the future. Now's the time to accumulate.
Yeah, and then it's weird because I don't know how true this is. I suspect it isn't. But when I showed someone that I had silver maples, they said because it's got the Queen's head on it, that is legal tender. But I don't think it is.
I don't know. Could be. Yeah, legal tender. It's all meaningless. 90-something% of transactions are digital now. That's not legal tender, is it?
No, it's just bullshit on a number screen on them. It's just rubbish, mate. Not backed by anything, is it?
No, I don't think it matters what his markings are on the silver. As long as it's pure silver, it could be any shape, bar, coin, any markings on it. You just want to get pure silver.
Yeah. But I think what you touched on earlier, exit strategies are really, really important because it's not that sort of subject I don't think many people either consider, think about, or even action it in some way. But at some point, you know, what is the point of holding X amount pure silver coins to live to like 85 or 86 and then die and then never
benefit from it?
Passing it on to your kids, maybe that might be a good idea. Or, you know, at some point, you know, imagine just getting one coin and taking the whole family on a 2-week holiday.
Yeah.
It could absolutely happen, mate, couldn't it?
It could. Absolutely, it could. I mean, the best thing is never sell. If you want to use a bit for bartering, absolutely. But your main silver, never sell, you know, borrow against it. Now, there's a bit of a theme that I've noticed with silver stackers, even in America and in Europe. A lot of silver stackers are thinking, like you said, they want to buy some land and they want to produce food and be have a bug out retreat, have a small holding or what they, you know, all the different names for it, a micro farm, you know, and be producing and have a really good home. That's the thing. That's what most silver stackers are looking for. That's their goal. Now you can achieve that without selling it. You borrow against it. You say to the bank, look, I'm prepared to lend. They'll lend you 70% of that, and don't forget, it's going to keep going up. It's just going to keep going up in value. So instead of selling it, borrow against it, buy your micro farm, get set up, and in the future, you know, you could sell bits of it, or as the price goes up, you can take some of that silver back.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea, mate. Seriously is. And just for you guys who are interested in my mate here, his YouTube channel, I'm going to show on the screen now. So this is Dave's channel. And if you can help him out, is at 1.9k subs. We want to get him up way more than that, because I think, in my own personal opinion, the amount of knowledge that David brings to the table deserves a lot more subscribers than that. Now, there is so much information that has been, pardon the pun, squeezed into this YouTube account. It's insane. We're talking analysis, truth, manipulations, cover up, breaking news, alerts, what's real, what's false, how to test, etc., etc., etc. There's a whole lot of information on this YouTube channel. So if you are interested in finding out as much as you want to know about silver, Dave Silver is a good YouTube channel to go to. So I'd encourage you guys to hop on over to that. And to make it easy, I've put the link to that YouTube channel in the description box right under this video. And when this live stream ends in a minute, I'm going to pin it in the comment as well, so everyone can find it nice and easy. So I'm going to leave the last 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever you want, Dave. What do you want to tell all of the people in the house watching this? Why is silver so good, and why do we need it?
Thank you, Funky. I appreciate that. So I think it's not too late. That's the first thing. People think, oh, it's going up. I've missed the boat. You haven't. It's still incredibly cheap. And the main thing that you need to remember is supply is not enough to keep up with demand. Demand from both industry and from investment demand is higher than supply every year. That's been the case every year. So there's been a drawdown from the vaults to meet that deficit. And the vaults have now got to a point where they're pretty much run out. They're all pretty much run out. So now's the time to keep stacking. I think keep taking silver out of supply, and you're going to see an incredible return on investment over the next year, 2 years. And if you be patient 5, 10 years, you're going to see an incredibly high value of silver. And I think it's got to happen, because the mine supply is not enough to keep up with demand. And our solar panels going to keep increasing. Our EV is going to keep increasing. Is AI data centers going to keep increasing? Of course they are. Demand is going up. And now you've got this flood of investors trying to buy. The price of silver has got to go up so much that it is economic to retrieve it from landfill. And I think that's going to happen. Silver's going to go up to thousands of dollars per ounce. And when that time comes, don't be tempted to sell. Be careful. Don't sell too early. You will regret it. The two options you can rent it. The lease rates are very high. With leasing silver, you'll just get a very small amount every month, but you don't have to pay that back. Or you can borrow against your silver, where you'll get a large amount. When the price has gone up, you'll get a much larger amount, a secured loan, and then make some good decisions what to do with it. Loads of us are thinking we want a really good bug out retreat and be a producer of food. That's what you want to do with your silver. I think that's a common theme. There's a guy called Bix Weir in America, and loads of his followers, they're all buying silver with that goal, to have a little small holding, have a little place in the country, buy some land, and be a producer. That's what you want to do with your silver.
Nice one, mate. That's yeah, basically hit the nail on the head, mate. I think that's what we all needed to hear, something like that. And I just this is a mate of mine, Raf, lovely guy. He says a company called Chards would sell you 30k's worth of silver easy. They have it in stock now, and they're the best dealer in the UK. And they're also cheaper than most dealers too. So have you heard of Chards before?
Yeah, heard of them. Yeah, if they've got it, if you can get probably about 15 kilo for that, if they've got it in stock, yeah, brilliant. They're one of the last ones to have some in stock, because everywhere's struggling to replenish their stock once they've sold out.
It is. I'm not joking, Dave. I've looked at 5 different websites, and I looked through coins and bars, and the more expensive they are, all of them are out of stock. They've got the smaller bars, the smaller basic cheap coins. Anything other than that, they're all gone.
Same all around the world. In Asia, it's crazy. I think Asia's a bit further ahead. There's 5-hour queues around the bullion dealers to buy silver, and they say sold out. 5-hour queues is happening. You can look up. And I think the West will be there soon, but we're just a bit further behind them. But they've got signs up, sold out, sold out. But people are still queuing up, and they say, look, I'm prepared to pay more. What have you got? And then they're paying a lot more because they're queued up all that time. It's a very exciting time.
Oh, I'm still scratching my head, mate, honestly. So, okay, we're going to shoot off now because we've been on air for over an hour, and Dave needs to get his head down, and so do I. It's been a long day, mate. I don't know about what you've been doing, but I've been splitting wood all afternoon. I'm ballsed out, so I'm going to need to crash soon and have a bit of a chill. So thanks ever so much for everyone tuning into tonight's live stream. Like I said, if you're interested in following Dave on his YouTube channel, his link is below this one, and I will pin it in the comment to make it easier for you to find. And that's going to be it. But no doubt we're going to be hearing from our lovely mate Dave at some point in the future, because watch this space. Silver is going places, right, Dave?
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Funky. I love coming on your channel. You've got a brilliant channel.
No, anytime, mate. And many more to come, mate, I'm sure. Brilliant. Because, like I say, silver, the only way is up. Brilliant. Okay. You guys take care. Thanks for watching and stay funky.